In this video, I want to talk about a pretty simple tip or trick that you can do to help you locate fish a lot quicker. I think that the majority of us anglers, we don't always have a lot of time on the water. You know, maybe you work a 9 to 5, or maybe you just work a lot and you have a family. You might only get 5, 6 hours, maybe 2 hours here and there to get out and on the water. And a lot of us want to go to catching and not just fishing around trying to find fish. And in this video, I want to talk about that. What can you do to locate fish a lot quicker, get on patterns a lot quicker? Now, real quick, special announcement before we get into the video. I now have solid colored USA made sun shirts. This is something that a lot of you have been asking for, and so I went out and I got some. I have 4 different solid color sun shirts along with my other 4 different colors. And right now I am running a special for the month of May 2024. If you buy any USA made sun shirt, you actually get a free tri-blend t-shirt. This is, I'm telling you, this is the most comfortable t-shirt you will ever wear, whether you're just lounging around the house, doing yard work, watching football, or whatever. So right now you can get this t-shirt with the purchase of a sun shirt. All you got to do is add the sun shirt you like to cart, add the t-shirt that you like to cart. It will automatically discount at checkout. It is a free $20 t-shirt. You can't beat it. And it is the best way to help support this channel. All right, let's talk about this tip. Let's talk about this trick. This is, guys, any new angler or old angler or anything like that, when they tell me about maybe struggling on the water, to me it all comes down almost 100% of the time to the areas that we are fishing. If you guys ever watch, you know, the TV, if you ever watch Bassmasters, if you ever watch Major League Fishing, if you ever watch YouTube videos where guys are cracking them, almost 100% of the time, it's like 95% of the time, it's not about the lures that they are throwing. It's not about the colors that they're throwing. It's not about the technique half the time that they are doing. It's more or less about the areas that they are fishing. I cannot stress to you how important this is. This is why I always talk about covering water on this channel, because there are dead areas in the lakes that we go to. There are dead areas, there are dead pieces of cover, there are dead pieces of structure that we fish. And if you spend too much time or all your time in that area, you're just not gonna catch any fish because there's no fish there. It doesn't matter what you throw. And then I have been on the flip side of things where you do find areas that are absolutely loaded with fish. And what I've seen in those areas where there's a lot of fish, half the time, it doesn't even matter what you throw. You can throw a jerk bait, you can throw a spinner bait, you can throw a Ned rig, and you're gonna catch fish because there's just fish in that area. Sometimes you could throw a shoe. If you take your crock off, put a hook on it, and you could catch fish. Now, with that, all that being said, I think that one of the most important things that you can do out there on the water is actually done before you get to the body of water. And that is to look at your mapping, your topographical maps, and Google Earth. Now, that's not the tip. What I want to talk to you today about is what to look for on those particular things, what to look for on Google Earth, what to look for on your topographical mapping. Now, to me, the biggest thing that I want to look for on any topographical map is what I call like home. And for me, a lot of home bases for bass are creek channels. Any type of structure and cover options that we have out there, they are automatically enhanced like 100-fold if a creek channel of some sort or a ditch of some sort is hitting up against them. You may have this humongous grass flat, but if you have a little creek channel that swings in and hits that grass flat, there's a lot of times where that is going to be where the fish are. You may have 100 points in a creek arm, but there's 2 or 3 of them where a creek channel swings right up against that creek arm. These are places where a lot of fish live. They are there a lot of the times. They're almost a home base for these bass. So when I look at a map, I'm always looking at creek channels, you know, because yeah, there's fish on flats, there's fish, but those fish are constantly chasing bait. They are looking for bait, so they are always on the move. I'm talking about finding areas where bass live. These are areas that can be very consistent all the time. Now, with that being said, when it comes to a topographical map, we're gonna first talk about topographical maps, then I'm gonna talk about like Google Earth maps. What I like to look for is a small area that gives me a lot of different options. Not only do I want a creek channel to be somewhere close by, I wanna have a lot of different structural elements that I'm fishing in a very close area. So when I am out there and I am going fishing and I only have 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to try to dissect a body of water, I don't want to spend all that time running around with my boat. I want to spend that time really fishing and trying to develop a pattern or an area where the fish might be. So when I look at a topographical map, I know I don't have a lot of time to fish. I'm looking for areas that give me a lot of options. I want an area that, man, this area has a ledge, it has a couple of points close by, it has some good spawning pockets, it has some ditches that run through it, it has some flats close by. If you can find, you know, maybe a quarter-mile section of the lake that has a lot of those different options, it allows you to fish a lot of options very quickly when you're out there fishing. That way, hey, maybe you can find out, guess what, the fish are on humps. You know, or sometimes sometimes it's as easy as finding the structural element that a fish are on. Sometimes you find out, oh, the fish are all on humps. Oh, the fish are on these big flats. Oh, these fish are on points with that creek channel swinging by. So if I have 4 hours to fish, I can fish a small general area, but I'm fishing a lot of different structural elements within that area to figure out where the fish are. Now let's talk about the Google Earth. And when it comes to Google Earth, it's the same but different. Instead of looking at structure elements, I'm looking at cover elements. I want to see an area that has a lot of different cover elements in it. I love areas that have boat docks on them, or that I can see, hey, there's a lot of laydowns here. A lot of times you can see grass, you can see lily pads and reeds, but you can also see submergent vegetation with Google Earth mapping that is just below the surface of the water. You can see a lot of different cover elements. Sometimes in really clear lakes, you can make out the composition of the bottom. You can see where it goes from, you know, like a clay bottom to a rock bottom, or a sand bottom to a rock bottom. You can see bigger boulders. You can see a lot of things. Now, like I just talked about, I like to find areas where you have a lot of different cover elements in a small area. So think if you're looking at a map today, you're getting ready to go fishing tomorrow, it's a Saturday, you're getting ready to fish for 4 or 5 hours, maybe you've fished this lake before, maybe you haven't. If you first sit down and look at a Google map, I would look at, or not a Google map, look at a topographical map, look for an area that gives you a lot of different structural elements, a lot of different things under the water. Then, once you kind of find that area, like, oh man, this area on the map has a lot of what I'm looking for, then I go over to Google Earth. I look in that same area on Google Earth, and a lot of times you will find, hey, guess what? This not only does it have a lot of structural elements under the water, it has a lot of cover elements. It has stumps. I can see stumps. I can see laydowns. I can see grass. I can see boulders. I can see docks. I can see all this stuff. If you find those areas, what you have found is just an abundance of structure and cover. And anywhere I've been fishing, when you have a lot of different cover and structure elements, there tends to always be bait fish and bass in those areas. And not only that, again, it allows you to cover a lot of different things very quickly, because hey, you can go and fish this stump, and then you can pull up and fish this long tapering point, and then you can go up to the bank again and you can fish a couple of boat docks in a row, and then you can see, oh, there was a grass flat over here, then I can shoot over and fish a grass flat, and then all of a sudden, bam, maybe you catch a fish, maybe you catch a fish under a dock. Now what you want to do, you want to avoid basically everything that you have now thought about, and you just want to fish docks, fish 8, 9, 10 docks. If you get another bite, hey, maybe you're starting to develop a pattern. If you don't get another bite, then start hopping along to these different cover and structure elements again. Bam, maybe you get another bite on a grass flat. All right, check out another grass flat. Bam, get another bite. Okay, maybe this is a pattern. Then you start to think of, you know, just a number of different lures you can also use in the grass flat. But like I said, a lot of times it just comes down to finding what the fish are relating to and the areas that they are in. So guys, it's a simple tip, it's a simple trick to do, but I think it can really save you a lot of time out there on the water. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you might enjoy this one as well. Also, don't forget to check out the fin gear right here. I will see you guys tomorrow.